Leadership is not what you think it is. Leadership is not about bossing people around. Leadership is not about having the best ideas. Leadership is not about being the fastest, the smartest, or the strongest. Leadership is not about any of those things. Maybe you've been around leaders who believe that's what leadership is. Maybe you've experienced leaders doing that. Or maybe, like me, you have been that leader yourself. But that is not what leadership is. I'm Jason, I'm the leadership guy, and I'm here to help you become a better leader. So let's get into it. So if leadership is not that, then what is leadership? John Maxwell says that leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Influence is the ability to have an effect on the outcome of something, and very importantly, to have an effect upon someone, what they think, what they believe, or even how they act. Leadership is influence, nothing more. That says that you don't need anything more than the ability to influence someone, to lead them. If you can influence something, hey, you can in fact lead them. Or for sure, you can add other things to that. Great. But you don't need anything apart from influence to be able to lead someone. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. That says that you will not get away with, you will not be able to lead anyone with anything less than influence. If you are not able to influence someone, guess what? You are not able to lead them. You can jump up and down, you can shout and scream at them, you can do all that stuff. They'll probably do what you want them to do, but that is not leadership. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. In 1984, a group of American climbers, led by Lou Whitaker, made an attempt to climb Mount Everest. Now, Mount Everest is the highest mountain on the planet. And for months, these climbers worked together, they prepared, they practiced, they got their bodies in the correct shape, and they got onto the mountain, very importantly, to acclimatize themselves to the height. And after much work, 5 climbers made it to the last camp. On Mount Everest, there are various camps at various heights. These are places where you can stop and rest, gather your strength, and you press on. So 5 of the climbers, including Lou Whitaker, made it to the last camp. That camp was at 27,000 feet in the air. Yeah, that's really high. Now, Mount Everest is just over 29,000 feet. That means that they had only 2,000 feet again to climb. But my friend, that last 2,000 feet, that's a big ask. At that point, Whitaker realized he had a couple very important and very difficult decisions to make. The first decision that he made was that he was not going to the summit. And you can say, but Jason, he's a team leader. If anyone deserves to go to the summit, it should be him. And I would agree with you. But Whitaker decided that he was not going to the summit and that he would stay at the campsite and he would coordinate activities from there. The next decision that he needed to make was who was going to go back down the mountain to the previous camp to get supplies. They needed food, water, and oxygen. Who would do that? Now, he took himself out. That means that there were 4 other climbers. Everyone is excited and ready to make it to the summit. But 2 people would have to go back down to the mountain. He chose 2 climbers. They went back down the mountain. They got the supplies and brought it back up. And the 2 remaining climbers, all they needed to do was just rest and breathe oxygen all day to conserve and build their strength. The following day, those 2 climbers headed to the mountaintop. That strategy worked perfectly. Those 2 climbers made it all the way to the top of the mountain, and they literally stood at the top of the world. Success after months of hard work. Sometime after that expedition, Lou Whitaker was interviewed. And the interviewer asked him a very simple but very important decision. very important question rather. Why didn't you assign yourself to go to the summit? Whitaker's response is instructive to all of us as leaders. He simply said, my job was to put others on top. Whitaker wasn't looking for appeal for himself. He wasn't looking for his own personal success. He wasn't looking for that. He was looking to help others achieve what they were trying to achieve. In doing that, Whitaker demonstrated that he understood people and he understood the power of leadership. Remember I mentioned that he chose 2 climbers and asked them to go back down the mountain? Yeah. Consider for a moment the kind of influence that he needed to have with them so that they would agree with him that they would go back down the mountain and come back up. He didn't shout at them, he didn't threaten them, he simply used the influence that he had with them. And they agreed with him, and they gave up the opportunity on that climb to get to the mountaintop. Consider the people around you in your life. Who can you come alongside of? Which person, group of persons, team, who can you come alongside of and bring your leadership and influence to help them achieve what they are trying to achieve? That is leadership in action. Check out this video for more help on becoming a better leader. I'll see you next time.